Right now, it feels like one of those moments in NASCAR where something huge just happened and the entire fan base can feel it, but nobody can quite agree on what it means yet. Because on one side, we might be watching the start of something historic, the kind of run people talk about for years. But on the other side, the conversation around the garage, around social media, and around the fan base is already getting complicated. Way more complicated than it probably should be. And that's exactly what makes this whole situation so fascinating right now. Something just happened in the Cup Series that we almost never see in modern NASCAR, the kind of start to a season that makes the entire field stop and look around and say, "Wait a second, what is going on here?" Some fans are celebrating it like the birth of a new powerhouse. Others are raising eyebrows, asking questions, and connecting dots that may or may not even exist. And honestly, that tension right there is exactly why this story has the entire NASCAR world buzzing today. So in this video, we're going to break down everything that just unfolded, the performance that shocked the garage, the reactions from inside the sport, and why this moment is already creating way more noise than anyone expected this early in the season. But before we jump into it, if you're a real NASCAR fan like me who lives for these kinds of moments every week, go ahead and drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. NASCAR Nation Hub is a brand new channel, and the goal right now is to reach our first 5,000 subscribers with real fans who love talking about NASCAR the way we do. Now, let's get into what actually happened, because when you lay the whole thing out step by step, this start to the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series season is honestly unbelievable. The driver at the center of all of this is Tyler Reddick, driving the number 45 Toyota for 23XI Racing. And what he just did at Circuit of Americas didn't just win another race, it put him alone in the NASCAR history books. Let's rewind for a second. Reddick opened the 2026 season by winning the Daytona 500, one of the biggest victories any driver can dream of in this sport. That alone is already a massive statement, but then he followed it up by winning again the very next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Right there, he had already done something rare. NASCAR's own race reports pointed out that only 6 drivers in NASCAR Series history had ever started a season by winning the first 2 races. But then came March 1st at Circuit of Americas, and that's where things went from impressive to historic. Because Tyler Reddick won again. 3 races, 3 wins. No driver in the entire history of the NASCAR Cup Series had ever opened a season by winning the first 3 races. Not Richard Petty, not Dale Earnhardt, not Jeff Gordon, not Jimmy Johnson. Nobody. Until now. And the craziest part? This wasn't some lucky fuel strategy or last-lap gamble. Reddick started from the pole, led 58 of the 95 laps, and won by almost 4 seconds. That's domination. And it happened at a track where the driver chasing him at the end is widely considered one of the best road course racers in the world, Shane van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen came into COTA trying to tie Jeff Gordon's Cup Series record with his 6th straight road course victory. That's how dominant he has been on these tracks. But instead of extending that streak, he spent the final laps chasing Reddick and never quite got close enough to make a move. After the race, Reddick admitted those final laps were mentally exhausting. Because on a road course, the last driver you want filling your mirrors is Shane van Gisbergen, but the number 45 team held him off anyway. For Reddick, this was a huge moment personally too. He called it a world-class moment for himself and for the entire 23XI Racing organization. And it meant even more because the team had been frustrated in the past about getting outrun on road courses. So winning at Circuit of Americas against drivers like SVG meant a lot. But when you zoom out a little bit, the bigger picture becomes even more interesting. Reddick's incredible start is even shocking when you remember that he went winless during the 2025 season. Now suddenly, he's the hottest driver in the entire sport. For 23XI Racing, this run is historic too. According to Fox's race recap, 23XI became the first team to win the opening 3 races of a NASCAR season since Petty Enterprises in 1963. That's legendary company. And when your team starts getting mentioned alongside names like Petty Enterprises, the entire garage starts paying attention, especially because of who owns the team: Michael Jordan. After the race, Jordan had a quote that immediately exploded online. He said, "It's time for change." Some fans tried to spin that like he was taking a shot at NASCAR, but when you listen to the full interview, that's not really what he meant. What Jordan was saying is that this moment represents a shift for 23XI Racing, a shift in how the team is viewed inside the NASCAR garage. Jordan also made sure to credit Denny Hamlin, calling him the mastermind behind building the team. He said Hamlin helped identify the driver, assemble the group, and create the structure that made this run possible. Jordan described himself as the competitor who brought the resources and simply wanted to win. And here's another interesting detail. Jordan is planning to attend the race at Phoenix Raceway next weekend as Reddick goes for 4 wins in a row. So 23XI Racing isn't shying away from the spotlight, they're leaning straight into it. Another reaction that really hit fans emotionally came from Kurt Busch. Busch, of course, was the original driver of the number 45 car before his concussion forced him to step away from full-time racing. After Reddick's win, Busch publicly congratulated Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, crew chief Billy Scott, and the entire 23XI organization. He called the moment history and said he couldn't be more proud. And that means something, because Kurt Busch helped build the identity of that number 45 team. Now he's watching the car he once drove become the center of the NASCAR world. But now we have to talk about the part of this story that has stirred up the most noise, because while many fans are celebrating what Tyler Reddick and 23XI are doing, another part of the fan base is already getting suspicious. Online conversations and message boards have started floating conspiracy theories. Some fans are pointing out that 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports settled their antitrust lawsuit with NASCAR back in December, and now that 23XI suddenly can't stop winning, some people are trying to connect those dots. But right now, that's all it is, a theory. There's zero evidence supporting it. In fact, the race itself tells the opposite story. NASCAR's official post-race inspection found no issues with the number 45 car. Everything was legal. And even Shane van Gisbergen, who finished second, praised the performance. He said the number 45 car was simply very fast, and his own team just lacked a little bit of turn and drive compared to Reddick. So if fans feel like something strange is happening, it's more about timing and emotion than actual facts. And in sports, when a team suddenly starts winning right after a big legal dispute ends, people naturally start connecting dots, even when those dots don't belong together. Which brings us to the big question heading into Phoenix. Can anyone in the Cup Series stop Tyler Reddick before this historic start turns into a full-blown early-season stranglehold on the championship? Or will the noise around 23XI get even louder if the number 45 wins again? Because if that happens, we might be witnessing the beginning of one of the most unbelievable starts to a NASCAR season the sport has ever seen. And honestly, moments like this are exactly why NASCAR fans watch every single week. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is simply a dominant team finally putting everything together? Or do you think the suspicion around 23XI is only going to grow from here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy real NASCAR conversations like this, don't forget to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. NASCAR Nation Hub is a brand new channel, and the goal right now is to reach our first 5,000 subscribers with real fans who love talking about NASCAR the way we do.